because day 2 is such a hard day, maybe I over salt and that's what's causing some of the gastrointestinal issues?
I believe that is. I don't say I have it down to a science, but I've got it to where for my particular
Sorry, dude. I was trying to make you a moderator, and I accidentally sent you back to the audience. I'm still getting used to this platform. I did it to Caitlin, too. I'm sorry, guys. Ugh. All right, let's make you a moderator. Keep talking. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I was saying that for my own physiology, I've learned pretty much exactly how much salt I need to take in order to, because for people who might be trying to fast without any salt or any light replacement, you're probably going to be stopped up a bit for about a day and a half. But you need the electrolytes. You just need to perhaps back off those just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that could fix that issue.
So, Caitlin, I was describing how almost invariably when I go on an extended fast, in day number 2, I get diarrhea. And that's exactly what happened. And, I always suspected it was probably an over-salting issue because it's just water and salt. What else could it be?
Another thing is your body's just trying to purge, right?
Yes.
So depending on where your ketone levels are, your body's literally breaking stuff down. It's like, okay, all of this stuff needs to go. And so it is just releasing it.
Yes.
So it doesn't build up.
And it's a beautiful thing. I'm not bemoaning it. And it certainly, I'm like, okay, better out than in, as Shrek once said. Yeah, so I love it. But the problem is sometimes people think, oh no, fasting has made me sick. No, fasting is healing you. And definitely we talked about, I believe yesterday, how when you start fasting and you start mobilizing some of these things in your body, especially the stored body fat, it might release some stored toxins in there that might make you feel temporarily sluggish and feeling bad. I have had those moments. Currently, I'm pretty good, except for the diarrhea kind of still ongoing periodically. Hopefully, if I suddenly go quiet, you know where I'm at. But the toxins being released, like I can tell that it's healing. I can already kind of feel that, Dax.
Yeah, the main issues I'm having right now, which I don't really have any main issues. I know pretty much exactly how this is going to go.
Yes.
But right now at about 40 hours, probably 36 hours from when my stomach cleared, which is actually your real fast time, start time. I'm a little foggy headed.
Yep.
If I happen to say anything that is under what I'm saying, you'll understand why.
Oh.
It's as if my brain right now is thinking, I want to think something, and then after about a second, I start thinking it. So it's not not a direct connection right now, but I know that's part of the situation as well.
Yes.
Converting to ketosis has got its own challenges.
Well, and the thing about this kind of ketosis, Caitlin, as compared to, say, a ketogenic diet inducing, is it's a lot more intense in the ketones. And especially as we move into days 3 and 4 and beyond, you're going to feel that all the more. But that spacey feeling that Dax is talking about, yeah, I've been kind of there. And day 2 is kind of notorious because it's like your body's just slapping you upside the head and going, all right, dummy, eat. What's going on? We don't understand. Eat.
Transition. I like to call it the transition phase. And transitions, no matter what, are never comfortable. But transitions are always where we grow the most. And so, although day 2 and typically even into day 3, you don't feel always your best,
right.
Know that at the end of that, you're going to be on a ketone high. You're going to feel amazing. So just stick it out, because that transition of going from burning your sugar in your glucose stores into tapping into your fat cells and burning fat and breaking down those proteins, that's exactly what's happening. And so just stick it out. It's right there.
And thank you for saying that, because a lot of people that eat keto think they're not really having any excess glucose anymore, but you actually are, especially if you're having the minimal carbohydrate. That's turning to glucose. You still have glycogen stores, but when you fast and you're not eating anything at all, it speeds up the dumping of those remaining glycogen stores that you do have, even in a ketogenic state. Which is why I think, Dax, if people go from a standard American diet to fasting, it hurts them far more than starting in a fat-adapted, keto-adapted state.
Ouch. That's all I gotta say. Go for it, Dax.
Oh no, no worries. Yeah, the lead up to any fast, the water fast, is pretty important if you want to negate some of the symptoms, some of the feelings that you have going into the fast. It's really all about preparation. People just think they can eat, drink, and be merry right up until fast day, but you will pay a certain price for that.
Yes.
If you don't prepare properly.
Yeah, don't take the day before, Caitlin, and carb up, because you'll feel that the next day.
Well, and it's funny because some people who talk about fasting, that's one of the things that they say is, like, eat a whole bunch the day before, then you'll be more satiated. Well, that's actually not true.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite. And so if you're just doing intermittent fasting, then yeah, you can have higher carbohydrates and feel okay during the intermittent fast. But if you're going to an extended or a block fast, I know you and I, Jimmy, use slightly different words to mean the same thing. You really do want to go low carb so that you're not having to burn excess glucose, and you're going to make that transition far easier than you would if you were, say, eating even really high healthy carbs.
Yes.
It will be more difficult for you to transition into that deeper ketotic state that fasting induces.
So guys, if you just came in, you're in the Keto for the Soul room. Click on that green house at the very top, and you can subscribe to all the wonderful rooms that are going on pretty much all day long. My name's Jimmy Moore. I'm the author of a book called The Complete Guide to Fasting. I'm the co-author with Dr. Jason Fung, world-renowned fasting expert. I've got Dax and Dr. Caitlin up here helping to answer questions. I know Lindsay's on her way. She had a conference call. She just texted me and will be here soon as well. But I want to pull up anyone from the audience. If you're currently joining us on this fast, you don't necessarily have to be in day 2, but if you're currently fasting and you have issues or things you want to ask about, we certainly can help. And I can tell you, last night was pretty rough. I went to bed at my normal time. I'm a very early to bed kind of guy. Just after 7 o'clock, I went to sleep. Got to sleep, was getting some really good deep sleep, and then suddenly midnight, the diarrhea thing hit, and I had to go, and then I couldn't get back to sleep. So I know a lot of people say that fasting itself, because it is a stressor on the body, can disrupt your sleep. Do you see that, Dax, in your own evidence?
Actually, I did fairly well last night sleeping. I went for a walk, about a 1.5 mile walk prior to going to bed.
Nice.
Then I took a hot shower, and actually another thing that, but I slept fairly well, Jimmy. I slept about 6 hours. I didn't wake up once, but in preparation for bed, I do a few things that, for example, I take the hot shower. I'll go for a walk before I get ready for bed. And the other thing that I do is, and I've not heard this spoken of, I don't think, on your room. Of course, I'm not here all the time, but I do dry skin brushing.
Yeah.
And using a natural bristle brush. And that, it works really well for adding some circulatory stimulation.
Sure.
To help start removing some of the additional toxins.
Absolutely. Yeah, and even with the short sleep, Caitlin, I did grab another little cat nap this morning for about a little over an hour. But even with that, I still got good restorative sleep, couple hours of deep, and 1 hour of REM, which is my typical. So even with the shorter sleep in this fasted, stressed state, I was able to rest. So people see shorter sleep and they think, oh no, fasting messed up my sleep. It may not be messed up. if you track it with an Oura Ring like I do, or Fitbit or whatever, you can see that maybe it's not as bad as you think.
Yeah, I agree. And what I want to throw out, kind of like what Dax said, and you alluded to initially, because I was going to say, Jimmy, I saw you on Clubhouse way late last night. For you. I was like,
Yeah. I was awake at midnight, and I was awake, so I was like, all right, let's see what's happening on Clubhouse, and I got pulled into a room and then pulled up on stage, and so
funny how that happens.
yes.
But I do find that people will have disrupted or broken sleep fasting, the more toxins that they're purging, or the
Yes.
more insulin resistant that they are, because the adrenal glands, which help control cortisol and melatonin, they're kind of freaking out, because it's like, hold on a second, what's going on here? Because remember, fasting is inducing a healthy stress on the body, but nevertheless, it's still a stressor. And so, the more dysfunction that your adrenal glands have, or the more toxicity you have, you are likely going to experience more broken down sleep. But here's the beautiful part. The more adapted you get, the less toxins that you have accumulated in your body, the less that you're going to experience that. And exactly what you said, Jimmy, these people, and myself included, I'm typically like an 8-hour sleeper. Like, I feel really good on 8 hours. When I'm fasting, I will get less than 6 hours and still feel absolutely amazing. And so it's just a matter of understanding this might happen, it's okay, and that's where those binders come in, that it might be beneficial to take a really good activated charcoal before you go to bed, just to help bind up the toxins, to reduce the cortisol response from the adrenal glands, to maybe allow you sleep a little bit better.
And back off on the salt, so you don't have that emergency having to run.
Yeah, that might be... Yeah, maybe don't have the bowl by you all day today.
Yeah, I have a much smaller plate today. So. Well, guys, we're going to open it up to you guys. So if you have any questions about your experience, we are officially in day 2 of my challenge. I'm in hour 54 at the moment, and so been going strong. Really shocking, though, Dax, that usually when I do these longer fasts, or at least my previous experience, I at least get a little hunger grumble in my stomach. I've yet to feel one yet.
Well, I've definitely had that. I'm hopefully getting near the end of that. The one thing that I can suggest for people that are preparing to fast, the day that I'm going to finish eating, in other words, if I'm going to, let's say, have an early dinner the day before I start a fast, about an hour or two after that, last meal, I will take a tablespoon of psyllium husk powder in 16 ounces of water. And psyllium husk powder is it's an all-natural fiber that is, and I like to take that after my last meal, and that way, as it works its way through your body, it will help push, kind of like a broom, all of the matter that is resident in your intestines. It'll help push that through, so that when you get to the point where during the fast you're cleaning out your body the rest of the way,
yes,
it'll help push that through.
Oh, but Caitlin, I can tell you with great verifiability from previous really long fasts, like 12, 13, 14 days in, there's still stuff coming out, psyllium husk or otherwise. It's wicked to people, because you think, I haven't eaten in X amount of days, what can be left in there? But it's usually a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, people have upwards of 5 pounds of fecal matter in their bodies at any given time. And so, if your digestive system isn't on track, if you're not having regular bowel movements, I just did an interview on my podcast with the Queen of Thrones, and she was talking about how you have to have a bowel movement the size of your forearm every day. And if you're not having that, and it can be broken up into, 2 or 3 bowel movements, but if you're not doing that, you literally have fecal matter compounding in your gut. And so that's one of the reasons why it can continue to come out in bits and pieces, especially as your body breaks it down.